at a request for approval of a soil management plan at 66 Boston Road. So, hi, Abby.
Good evening, Abby Masalehdan. Congratulations to
Thank you,
both of you.
Thank you.
I wasn't here last time, so. This is paperless too. I forwarded copies of the results of the soil that had tested on the compost pile to Jody and Carol Gombard 2 weeks ago. And as you see on Carol's comment to Jody, that on May 15th, that the soil and the compost pile that I tested are absolutely impeccable to be used on site for growing what I need for this season and next season. And I also would like to ask the board to permit me to bring in some more fill that it required a couple of weeks ago in order to get that hump fixed on site, to put the topsoil on top of it and get the seed down and start growing the rye that I need for the season. And it'll be coming from the same pile that the same loam and the previous fill has come.
Okay.
Yeah. How much fill is that?
I need somewhere around 300, 400 yards to get that hump straightened out.
So in Carol's letter, she just says that any of the future soil being brought onto the property has a bill of lading to document where the soil is coming from, and it should be tested. So if we're going to do that, we just need to make sure that last paragraph in her note is followed.
Right.
So
it'll be tested. It's the same test. Actually, it was tested in Chelmsford. I have the same result that came from Chelmsford, same as Hub. So
right, but I just want to make Carol's.
You just, if before you bring any more fill,
I have it already tested. I had a bucket brought over to Chelmsford being tested.
Before you bring, I understand you've already had it tested.
Right.
Before you bring the fill onto the property, you need to speak with Carol and show Carol a bill of lading as well as the test results for that fill.
I will do that. Once it's trucked, I will
assuming
do
that
that.
she says, yes, okay, it's fine, like she has with this,
Right.
then...
Don't bring it on before.
Oh, no, I will not.
and-
I will not do
right,
that.
right,
I will not
so
do that. That's why I'm
then you
having
can
it
bring it
tested
on.
right now, so.
I have a question about the soil that you're bringing in. My understanding is the folks that buy soil and sell soil, they bring it in from all over, they pile it up, and then they resell it.
This is
How
coming
do you-
from Pepperell.
How do you know that what you tested a month ago, I mean, they're bringing in different soil all the time and then shipping it out. You don't know that you're getting soil from the same pile. How do we know that it's as safe
The
this
soil
time
that
as
I'm
it was a
testing is
month
coming
ago?
from the same pile that's been tested.
Yeah, but I think the question is, Abby, has that pile that you're getting the soil this time changed in any way? Has
It will
new-
not. It will come from the pile that I'm having tested.
That's why Carol's recommendation is
Right.
the bill of lading. It needs to be
Right.
tested. She
Right.
needs to be convinced
Yeah.
that it is whatever.
Because Carol's letter says that.
Well, Lois Lund is a contractor in Westford and Chelmsford and Townsend, and he's a reputable person, and he's not going to be
He may be,
changing.
but we don't know where the soil that he is buying came from. It's not him.
In fact, Carol says that his pit is made up of material taken off various sites he works
right,
on. So
right.
the sites he works on 2 weeks from now may not have been tested. So that's why I think Carol wants to make
Well,
sure.
that's why I'm saying that the pile that will be coming from his site, it's the pile that I'm having tested. There'll be a bill of lading on it.
Is the test itself expensive or burdensome? I'm wondering how, because you could, at the time you're actually drawing the lot, you could test that lot, and so we wouldn't be worried about traceability or did it come from the same place or.
Well, I don't know what he's bringing, but I'm testing the pile that I'm going to get from him.
Do you test the pile you're drawing it from?
He
when
tests
you're
all the
drawing it?
pile when he goes on a site. He will test it. He has tests from previous sites that he's tested for past 25, 30 years.
So he can provide an inspection report from any specific spot that he's
He
loading the truck
does.
from.
I believe by law, he has to do that.
Okay, so you would have, so before you brought anything on here, you would go to Carol and say, here's the bill of lading, here's the inspection report for the material
I
that's
will do
actually
that.
being placed on the truck.
Yes, I will
And
do
there's some
that.
way he can do that.
Yes, I will do that. Because there'll be a bill of lading for that particular pile that I'm going to be buying from him,
So I guess you just said you had that dirt tested a month ago?
No, just 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Now, the fill that you want to bring on,
The dirt, the ones I had tested, it's been sitting on site since November.
right. I got that part.
Okay.
The additional fill you want to bring in,
Right?
okay, is not on site yet, is that right?
It's not on site.
Okay.
Right.
And you have to bring it in from
From Pepperell.
from Pepperell.
Right.
So I think our concern is that
Excuse me.
the fill that's been on site or the loan that's been on site since November
Right.
has been tested and that's fine.
Right.
But the fill that you're going to bring on now in May, 7 months later, 8 months later, whatever that is, how do we know that that's still from the same pile that you tested back in November? That's the question.
It's a traceability.
Well, I'm not saying that it's going to be
He's
the same
not saying that.
pile. I'm not saying it's going to be the same pile. It's a new pile over there that I'm going to be buying from him, and that's the pile I'm having tested.
Okay. That's what I was trying to
Right,
understand.
no. It's a new pile.
Okay. That's what I was trying to
Right,
understand.
it's a new
Thank you.
pile. No, it's not.
And when you go and you say, I'm going to buy this pile, are you sure that and you test part of it, are you sure that's the same pile you're buying? Because my understanding is people are hauling dirt out, new soil's coming in that pile, it may be pile A just to the left of the gate, but it has, over 2 weeks' time, a lot's come and gone.
Well,
and
Carol has already contacted Lois. I've already told him what I'm doing, and he already has a pile for me that I took some for testing, which is being tested right now. I'm going to be getting that particular pile.
Okay.
That's,
All right.
So Carol's satisfied with the traceability, that will be the test.
Right.
What actually goes in the
Right.
truck is something that's the same as what's been
Right.
tested.
Right.
Just, that's what she will have to be. She's not yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
And then does this arrangement is it just the meeting minutes here that documents this arrangement, or is there some letter of mutual understanding we come up with to modify this, or how does that work?
Well, Carol's letter makes a recommendation. Our minutes say that Debbie has to follow that recommendation. And Carol's going to have to issue a letter once that pile gets tested.
That's the right.
That she approves that pile to come in.
When you vote tonight, then we do an action taken, which gets published tomorrow, that says that, and that will go to Carol, so she knows she needs to test his soil before bloom or whatever it is, before it gets brought here, yes. So.
For any shipment, Carol has to review, see the bill of lading, has to see a then current inspection report, like we've just seen, and she has to agree that that's copacetic.
And you have not approved for him to take anything, to bring any more unless you vote tonight. So each time, he'd have to come back here, ask you again, and then
Right.
follow that process. This is just for the 300,000 to 400,000 he just asked you for.
No, 400
I mean,
yards.
400 yards.
400
sorry,
yards.
Not 1,000. Yeah, not 1,000.
So I think the vote tonight is that if the board wishes to entertain it, is that we vote to permit Ebby to bring the no more than 400 yards?
Right.
No more than 400 yards onto the property, contingent upon Carol Gumbart receiving a bill of lading, proof that the soil is not contaminated and is satisfied with,
The then current inspection report.
yeah.
Okay.
can we add that this is expressly to fill that spot in the field? Because I want to satisfy folks' concerns if you're bringing in 300 or 400 yards. Oh, is he working towards building something here? Or, I want it to be for a specific purpose in the field.
I had a plan that I showed you weren't here the last time. That did a drawing, but I need to fill to bring up to a level so it can be nice and straight, so we can put the rye down. That's the only purpose I'm doing that for.
I mean, it can be in the motion.
So that can be in the motion.
To fulfill the
Actually-
purpose as described in
Yeah.
previous meeting.
Previous.
Okay.
And then I have one other question. My understanding is that part of the field has washed out because of all the stormwater that runs down Boston
From the road,
Road.
yes.
So what has been done so that those 300 to 400 yards don't end up down in the wetlands in a couple
Well,
of months?
apparently Paul has made a recommendation to fix the road from the erosion going into the farm. Apparently, he's got some kind of plan for it.
Right, but I think that is
So you talk
there's
about the
some
Main
time
Street plan?
before that's
Well,
going to happen.
that's not going to happen for several years. That's if you're talking about the Boston Road
Right, right.
reconstruction, that's not going to happen till 2021 or 2.
I guess I have to put some rocks in front of it to avoid from the water running down there.
But if you drive past, there's black
Yeah, it,
fencing. Is that conservation
Yes,
Yeah.
it is,
aimed?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that what prevents anything from getting to the wetlands?
Water going to the wetland.
yeah, I mean, he's got conservation
fence, yeah.
required him to put silk fences
Right.
up. So.
I've seen that. I'm thinking, though, if the problem has been that the water's coming down Boston Road and washing that out, so that will prevent it from going into the wetlands. But will it really solve your problem? Because that stormwater is still going to wash another
For
hole in
immediate,
there.
yeah, that's been going down for years and years, so I can probably try to avoid it with putting some rocks in front of it for right now, to not wash it down until the road gets fixed.
Yeah. I would suggest, Debbie, that you talk to Chip Barrett. Do you know Chip Barrett
I do,
Highway?
yep, yep.
I would suggest you talk to him about it because make sure it's safe for our road, but also solves your
Oh,
problem.
it'll be inside the
He can
farm
advise
anyway.
you,
Okay,
yeah.
no problem.
Okay, is there?
I'll make a motion to permit Ebby to, or actually whatever the Westford Gateway, whatever the title is officially,
Ebby.
to import up to 400 yards of soil in accordance with Carroll's recommendations of May 15th, 2017, for the purposes outlined at our April, was it 25th meeting that we went over the plan?
I'll
I believe it
I'll
was,
get
yeah.
the
25th,
date,
yeah,
but I
25th, yeah.
think so, but I'm not positive.
Technical question, soil or fill? Fill is like,
Fill.
Feels like
Fill.
gravel and stuff. So you want it to be filled?
It's
not
unscreened loam, actually, that's what it is.
soil. Okay.
Fine.
Friendly amendment.
It's loam, but it's unscreened, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Is there a second?
Second, it's automatically subject to this
Yeah,
thing.
this
To Carol's.
to Carol's letter. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that was part of his motion.
Thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? Any comments or questions from the audience?
I just had a quick question.
You need to come to the microphone and tell us who you are.
Sorry. And it's relating to the
You need to-
I'm
you
sorry,
need to tell
Diane
us.
Hendricks, Crown Road. It's relating to the last meeting when Mr. Masalehdan, I'm sorry, April 25th meeting, when Mr. Masalehdan said that the 3 parcels were considered 21E contaminated land. And the EBI consulting document, I don't know if that's how you really say it, that was submitted last year, it's posted on the Westford website, does not state that there is any contaminated land at all. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Thank you.
No, I mean,
Wait.
It's a question whether or not it's contaminated land.
thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, the report says that it isn't. It is not. So it is not a 21E site. So it's not contaminated.
Okay, because I just want to make sure, because on that meeting, he said all 3 parcels were contaminated.
Right. Okay. Thank you. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those any further discussion?
I do have another related question. Has the process begun with the NRCS office? I know Liz McGuire was.
I
the last
called Dan,
time-
left a message, I haven't heard from them at all.
Okay.
And my understanding is Carol's been in touch with
Okay.
Liz.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good